Can you do your landscaping yourself? Stay tuned to find out. We're here at the Mahogany Project, and this is a great project to bring you guys as far as lots of homeowners asking if they can save money by doing some of the tasks themselves. So when it comes to a project, it is very daunting to tackle any of the hardscape or some of the earth-moving elements of this of a project, any kind of bigger scale project, but you can still save time and money doing some of the things yourself to try and meet that budget. So the Mahogany Project, where we're at right now, is a great example of that, and that's part of the reason we wanted to A, show you guys the beautiful work that was done, and B, it's a great example of homeowners doing some of the work themselves. So getting started, we're dealing with originally, and we'll insert some before photos in here, but quite a bit of slope. So originally over here at the retaining wall, you had the grade change happening from that swale and then the hill coming out to about here, and you basically had no yard after that slope was done. So the whole purpose of this project was to maximize their yard area. They wanted to have enough grass to do more than one pass with the lawnmower, as well as have a planting area and a structural retention of the green space behind us here. So kind of first key element here is the alum block retaining wall / planters. One thing we did here that was unusual is our tie back distance. So generally when you're doing a retaining wall, I like to tie back our geogrid, which is essentially a geotextile netting that we pinch between the rocks or the stones and glue, and then run it back into our grade and bury it. And that creates stability and keeps your retaining wall from falling forward. In this instance, if we'd brought this out another 3 feet, we'd be sitting here and you'd eat into the yard quite a bit. So one of the things that we ended up doing to maximize space is just creating essentially a U-shaped box where there's a sidewall on either side, and then that allows us to tie the geogrid with the planter into itself. So it's no longer just tied in and kind of one directional, it has both sides stabilizing the front. So it's kind of building a box essentially, and that allowed us to kind of shorten up the tie back distance to 3 feet, which works great for a planter, but also does the job of retaining the earth. Then we have steps here, obviously need to get to the gate. So put in some alum block steps. As you can see, up to code, we did a 7.25 inch per step. So that's the wall. Next kind of major element was the fence. Now this is also a bit of a unique situation. We were dealing with both neighbors going to be getting their landscaping done, our clients as well as the next door neighbors, and there's access concerns with the other neighbor for their landscaping project. If we'd fenced all the way down as we were planning, that would have inhibited their access for machinery. So we ended up only going to about the edge of the house with the fence, and there's another situation where we want to accommodate other landscapers and other neighbors. So we built in the fence from the top here, accommodating the grade. We used some 2x6s to batten the neighbor's side because they're not going to go quite as low as we did here, and then carried it to the edge of the house, so at least you don't have 2 different fences built at 2 different times by 2 different contractors in the line of sight. So that was one of the major things we did here, was just making sure that we do the section until the edge of the house, and then if it changes slightly, it's out of sight. So another example of if you're willing to work with neighbors and contractors, it's not that hard, and it can make everybody's end result a lot better. Moving on to here, we obviously put in the patio here. It's a Dimensions 12 Trofino Gray with a charcoal Holland. It's a little bit dusty. The homeowners had gotten in here and have done a fair bit of their planting already, and then they're going to be doing the sod themselves. So that's a great example of if you're wanting to save some costs and do a little bit of hands-on work in your project, doing things like sod or shrub planting is a great option for you to save a little bit of cost. And you can see here they've done a beautiful job planting out their yard. We left it kind of planting ready with garden mix, and then they filled it in. So patio along here, we have kind of going back to kind of the sitting area with this split pergola. So this is a popular design. It's kind of becoming more and more popular for kind of patios, or if you're doing like a turf area and you want to have a pergola for aesthetics, the split pergola is becoming very popular. In this particular project, we actually split the pergola specifically for the window. So it is cut from line of sight, so you still get the aesthetics and the shelter of a pergola, but it doesn't have, or you don't have a 10-foot pergola right in the line of sight on the main level. So they still have their view unrestricted to the green space and into the yard, but they also have the pergola. So that was one of the reasons we went with a split pergola on this particular job, and I think it turned out really, really nicely. Another feature that we added here is originally the deck had a railing here, and then your standard builder grade, 36 or 40-inch steps coming down. So we took out the railing, recladded the side of the deck, and then put on pressure-treated steps to match the pergola. So that is kind of another addition that ties in the existing deck with the new fence, as well as the pergola, kind of ties all the woodwork together. Because actually this, one of the reasons we ended up doing that was the composite that was used on the deck is no longer available. So a solution is just don't go with a close match, just go with a whole new product. And in this particular instance, the pressure treated worked out great, tying in all the different elements. So this is another example of one of our hardscape projects. Came together quite nicely. And yeah, I think the end result speaks for itself. And if you're looking to get a project done this season or next, come and DM us or shoot us an email on our website. And we'd love to chat about your project and see how we can help you out next. Thanks again.